Hey guys, what's up? In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Huawei's best looking phone yet, the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. And we'll see how it compares with Apple and Samsung devices. So this phone right now in the market, it's about $800 to $900. Flagship price for a flagship device for Huawei. So the only problem is though, it's not readily available in the US. So you might have to import it from Europe or the Asia or something. Okay, so let's take a look at what comes with the box of Huawei Mate 20 Pro. So here's the box, pretty nice looking. Obviously, you get the phone that comes in the box, and it comes in three different styles. So you have the black. This one's the black right here, and you have option of getting a twilight or emerald green. Emerald green is a little different. It's scratch proof and dust resistant at the back. This one, not so much. It's kind of a dust magnet actually. Then Huawei was kind enough to put the one of the cases in the box, and it's a clear case, very minimalistic. I really like using it. You can't even tell that it's in a case. So here's the phone. Let's open up the box. You have the SIM opening tray. You get the manual, the Huawei supercharger, which is 40 watts, and you can actually charge the battery using this from 0 to 70% within 30 minutes, and full charge I believe is like 45 minutes to an hour. Then you have the 3.5mm jack to plug in your audio, because Mate 20 Pro doesn't have the audio jack on the phone, and the headphones. So that's all that is in the box. Okay, so let's talk about the design of what Huawei Mate 20 Pro features. We have a 6.39-inch screen on a phone that should be actually larger than it is. So kudos to Huawei for fitting that big of a screen in this. And we have a kind of a curved design on the sides. Really blends in. You don't really notice it on a day-to-day basis. And then the screen itself is an OLED screen, so very deep blacks. It's quite nice, watching YouTube videos or Netflix on it. So if you turn to the side, we have the power button and volume buttons on the same side, and Huawei kept the other side clean. There's nothing here. And at the bottom, you have the charging port and SIM tray. And obviously, at the top, you have the front-facing camera, which is 24 megapixels. And the speakers. So let's look at the back. You have the triple camera setup at the back, and flash if you need it. So the main camera itself is 40 megapixels, and you have a telephoto lens and an ultra wide lens. We'll talk about that in a minute. But other than that, about the screen itself, the screen, it's actually pretty wide. So it's not your normal aspect ratio. It's actually 19.5 by 9 OLED screen. So it's boasting a resolution of 3120 by 1440. So you can actually watch 1440p YouTube videos on this. It'll give you an option. So there's three ways to unlock the phone: with your password, obviously, that you set. Then you have the face identification. Then you also have in-screen built fingerprint sensor. And this is the way I love it the most, because it's really easy to use. Just press it and press down on it, and unlocks it right away. So let's take a look at display settings first and foremost. We go into the settings, we go into the display, and for the sake of the video, we've set it to maximum brightness, but usually I keep it at 40 to 50% because it's actually really bright. You can also auto adjust, I should mention. So set it to auto adjust, and at night, or if it's in a dark room, it will set it kind of at 25% brightness. And then we have color and eye comfort. So you have this eye comfort mode, which what it does is it turns the color temperature warmer, and actually you can set it how much warmer you want it, or if you want it a little cooler, and you can actually schedule it to turn on when you're about to go to bed or something. So you can notice the difference between eye comfort mode and non-eye comfort mode. Also, in the color mode temperature, out of the box, the settings that it comes with is vivid mode, and that actually boasts color saturation. So if you don't like that kind of stuff, you just like normal natural tone colors, you could just set it to normal, and that's fine. Next, let's take a look at the screen resolution. So not many phones actually feature 1440p aspect ratio right now, the resolution that is. So like I mentioned earlier, this is almost an ultra wide screen. It's a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. So you have the 3120 by 1440p high ultra resolution. You can also set it to a little bit over the full HD or the 720p modes. So also the other thing is Huawei Mate 20 Pro supports HDR, so YouTube videos look fantastic on this phone. It depends on the content you're watching. And another thing I should mention is on YouTube now you'll have an option to actually watch videos in 1440p. So you'll see that in most phones you only get up to 1080p because that's all they support. But with this one, you also have the option of 1440p. And here's how it looks. Okay, guys, let's talk about the performance of this unit, Huawei Mate 20 Pro. So we go in the settings, system, about phone, and over here you'll see that the CPU, the chipset that it has is Huawei's Kirin 980. It's an 8-core unit. The RAM is 6 GB. So I gotta say that this is one of the fastest Android phones I've had my hands on. Everything feels really smooth. Everything boots up really fast. The phone itself boots up really fast, and there doesn't seem to be any lag or any judder of any kind. And Huawei did say that for 2 years you shouldn't see any slowness in performance. So let's try and boot up a game, and we'll see how it goes. So as you can see, it already booted up, and we have the demo here. So try and play that. And the graphics on this are beautiful thanks to the OLED screen that Huawei has. Okay, so let's take a look at the main feature of why most people buy Huawei Mate 20 Pro, and that is the triple camera setup. So let's go in the camera. So right away looking at it, you can see that over here it has different zooms. So you have the 1x, you have 3x, you have the 5x. You can obviously do kind of like in between, and it goes all the way up to 10x. And then at the very bottom you have the ultra wide. So this is 0.6x. And we'll see a comparison between the ultra wide and the regular 1x. I'll show a photo for you guys. So let's keep it at 1x and let's look at the settings. Over here at the resolution, you can actually change the camera's megapixels, and it goes all the way up to 40 megapixels. But I should mention that at 40 megapixels, you don't get any of the zoom. So when it's like doing super macro and everything, you won't see the 40 megapixels. So you'll actually have to kind of cancel it, go back, and then take a look at it. It will show you the 40 megapixels. So in the 40 megapixel setting, it will say that zoom is not supported. That's just something, because 40 megapixels is already taking such sharp photos, I don't think you would need the zoom. So it's good to have that option there. Then we have, let's set it back to a little lower, 10 megapixels for example. It'll still take 4K photos. Then you have the portrait mode, which takes pictures basically like, it'll automatically say no faces detected. So what it'll do is it'll take pictures like a DSLR, where you're taking a picture of someone and it'll just focus on them and blur the background. Takes really amazing photos. And one thing I forgot to mention is the camera AI. It's we saw that it's at super macro because we're kind of like looking at the table, and when I'm taking pictures outside, it will say things like beach, sunset, sunrise. So it's really amazing, the camera AI on this phone. The feature that I love the most is the night mode, and we'll take a look at some of the pictures of this. Basically, it overexposes the picture for 5 seconds and gives you a really stable and nice image, even in pitch dark. You won't even need a flash. Next, obviously, it can make videos in 720p all the way up to 4K UHD. Also, you have the Pro mode option. I've been playing around with this, so you can like set the ISO to what you want and change the EV. You have the Pro mode option in the video camera as well. Take a look at the result of this camera. So there's some pictures I've taken, and we'll take a look at all the different types of pictures this camera can take. So first, let's take a look at the selfie camera. So I'm not sure if you can see in this video, but look at all the details that it's able to show, even in the background and everything. So that's the front facing camera. Next, let's take a look at a regular photo of this statue at 1x, and now we'll take a look at the same picture at same distance and same height, taken with ultra wide lens of this camera. So you can definitely see the difference that the ultra wide camera is able to provide. You're able to see a lot more. And this is a regular photo taken from the back camera, and I kept this a little on the darker side. This was around sunset time, so you can still see the crispy detail everywhere. Next, we're going to take a look at the night mode feature. So this picture was taken without the night mode feature on. So this was just a flash. Now, a similar picture is this with night mode on. You can clearly see the difference of how much brighter it gets. Again, this photo is also taken with night mode, and this was really taken from far away. So and we'll finish it with my favorite photo that I took in Dubai of Burj Khalifa. This is also done with night mode, even though there wasn't any need. But in night mode, what it does is it lets you do overexposure for 5 seconds, so you can see the details on the road. The cars are blurred, and the towers are shining with all those lights. So it came out a really nice photo. Next, I want to talk about the software of the phone. So one big complaint I have about this phone is the software. So Huawei is still running their EMUI Android 9 software, and it just, for me, seems like there's things all over the place. They tried to do too much, pick things from Android and iOS and try to kind of combine it, make it look nice. It does look nice, but when you want to find something in settings, it just takes you a very long time, especially in the beginning. Once you get used to it, it's not as bad. Also, I should mention that there's an excess of bloatware garbage on there. So there's a lot of stuff that you're not going to want or use at all, like Huawei kind of garbage. So this is probably my only big complaint with this. And other than that, I think if they can refine the software more and kind of put some finishing touches on there, it will be a pretty nice phone by itself. Okay guys, let's talk about the battery. So Huawei's got a 4200 milliamps battery. So to give you a comparison, Apple's iPhone 6 Pluses and 7 Pluses that were fairly large phones, they came out with, I think it was 2300 to 2500 milliamps battery. So if you compare in that regard, it's got a really large capacity for a battery. Also, you get a super fast charger, which charges your phone from 0 to 70% within 30 minutes. And I believe full charge is around 45 minutes to 60 minutes, somewhere around there. Now, let's compare the Huawei Mate 20 Pro with other flagship devices, such as the iPhone XS Max and Galaxy S10 Plus. So in terms of screen sizes, there really isn't much of a difference or a noticeable difference. So Apple has the advantage here with a teeny bit larger screen with 6.5 inches. And in terms of screen resolution, Apple is lagging behind in that, but the S10 Plus and Mate 20 Pro are fairly close. So no clear advantage there. If you had to give it to someone, it would be Huawei Mate 20 Pro. Pixel density. Now this one is important because this is your pixel per inch. How many pixels per inch? So you don't see the image kind of pixelated if there's if the pixel density is too little. In this regard, again, Huawei Mate 20 Pro and S10 Plus are pretty close. Huawei with the advantage. All screen types are OLEDs, so all balanced there. In terms of rear cameras, Huawei has, like we mentioned, the 40 megapixel camera plus 20 megapixel ultra wide and 8 megapixel telephoto. Apple only has 12 megapixel dual cameras, whereas Galaxy S10 Plus also has the triple camera. But Galaxy S10 Plus has only 12 megapixel up to 16 megapixels. And then the front camera, in this one, S10 Plus has taken the leap and put dual cameras there. So it would give advantage to S10 Plus. Chipsets all almost equal, so no clear advantage there. S10 Plus has 8 gigs RAM, whereas Mate 20 Pro has 6 GB, and it can go up to 8 GB if you buy the 256 GB internal storage phone. Battery capacity, like we mentioned, Apple hasn't disclosed it, but we're going to take a look at the other two. Fairly close again, with the Huawei a slight advantage. So the price point. If you look at the price point, Huawei Mate 20 Pro is a clear winner here because it's starting from $820, whereas the other phones are starting at about $1,000. The only issue is you might not be able to readily get it in the US. So that's our comparison. So let's recap. Huawei's got great performance for its processor. It's got 6 GB RAM, so everything is super fast. Nothing is, nothing seems slow. It's lag free. And then we have a super fast charger for the battery, a large capacity battery. It's got an OLED screen and a pretty large screen, 1440p resolution. Now, the only problem that we saw, as we discussed, was the Huawei's software, kind of all over the place. In fact, if it wasn't for Huawei's ugly software, I would say that this was the best phone for 2008. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel.